A successful treaty is a beautiful thing. Across the county line, in the prosperous kingdom of Duke, our first three Attic heirs, Dolly, Loretta, and Carl, have officially assumed their thrones. They've traded the dusty rafters of the carriage house for carpeted castles and unlimited treats. The transition was flawless, and the Duchess reports that the royal squires are ruling with absolute spoiled authority. The skirmishes in the Grand Corridor were only a temporary camp. Every pioneer has a destination, and these Attic heirs have a destiny to claim. The wagons have traveled south, across the sunny borders to their final rightful place, the sovereign kingdom of Duke. Look at them now, safe in the warmth of their permanent territory under the loving eye of Duchess Donna. Donna has officially signed the treaty, welcoming the Attic heirs to her court with the gentle touch of a seasoned ruler. No more cold rafters, no more dusty attic cobwebs, and no more of Bingston's suspicious audits. They've traded the survival of the frontier for the firelight of a true home. The Sapphire Line is safe, and the kingdom of Duke is looking richer than ever. But life in the kingdom of Duke ain't all velvet pillows and high-grade catnip. True royalty must always be prepared to defend the realm from foreign incursions, even if that incursion is a six-legged, armored Texas tree lobster. The Duchess reports that the defenses of the new realm are completely secure. The giant bug was audited, reassessed, and successfully chased into exile. But protecting the realm from insect espionage isn't their only duty. To maintain peak physical readiness, the new royalty must engage in daily tactical combat drills. Out here, we call it play fighting. In the kingdom of Duke, it's a high-stakes sparring match for supreme dominance of the wicker chair. It's a brutal, fluffy clash of titans. While Carl and Loretta struggle for supremacy, Princess Dolly observes the battle from the high ground, completely unimpressed by their technique. But as the old saying goes, pride goeth before a fall, or in Dolly's case, pride goeth before you realize your own rear end is harboring a fuzzy, wiggly insurgent. Yes, friends, even the Supreme Commander isn't immune to a sudden security breach from her own tail. It was a fierce, dizzying battle of self-sabotage, but eventually a temporary truce was declared when she got distracted by a passing speck of dust. But a steward's work is never truly finished. No sooner had the first carriage departed than we had to launch a secondary tactical sweep of the carriage house attic. Now, if you got a sharp eye and watched episode 2 close enough, you might have spotted a shadowy figure running high-altitude reconnaissance in the garage rafters. That was Lady Pepper, the Sentinel Mother. She was keeping a watchful eye on her territory and her hidden nursery. As any good parent knows, when your kids decide to move, you tend to follow. When we first scaled the ladder to bring her 3 newborn princes down from the hot ceiling rafters, Pepper watched the whole operation. She didn't run, she didn't hide. She just waited for her boys to pave the way. Unlike some of our wilder frontier spirits, Pepper decided that the terms of our indoor treaty were too good to pass up. She followed her kittens right out of the rafters, surrendered to a lifetime of air conditioning, and was officially reunited with her boys in the safety of the Grand Hall. Unlike the first heirs, these boys are still under the direct protection of their mother. The gray gentleman has been named Viscount Doolittle. He's a quiet, refined soul who prefers deep contemplation over rafter climbing. And then we have the twins, 2 solid black, high-energy outlaws. We've christened them Sir Cash, the Squire in Black, and his partner in mischief, Sir Wayland, the Midnight Outlaw. Together with Viscount Doolittle, they've established the Pepper Regency in the Grand Hall. Now, the indoor royals do not have access to the Grand Hall. In the spirit of peace, quarantine, and preventing a full-scale feline civil war, we have a strict closed-door policy, but that hasn't stopped the inner court from launching a full-scale auditory investigation. Kenny is convinced there's a tiny squeaking chicken toy living on the other side of that door, and he's ready to negotiate a trade agreement. The heavyweight of the law, Sir Bingston. He is 20 pounds of pure black-furred skepticism. Bingston don't do surprises. To him, these new kittens aren't family yet. They're an unaudited inventory. If a leaf blows across the porch, he files a report. If a kitten takes a step in his castle, he's calculating the structural tax. When you see him staring daggers, he ain't mad. He's just balancing the books in his head. Every now and then, the diplomatic channels break down, and we find ourselves with a good old-fashioned jurisdictional dispute in the royal chambers. On the left, we've got Sir Bingston, representing 20 pounds of black-furred litigation. On the right, Sir Kenworth, our ambassador of peace, who is temporarily suspending his pacifist policies. There's no claws here, just a couple of heavyweights throwing slow-motion jabs like two lumberjacks trying to settle a land dispute over a cup of black coffee. Bingston thinks Kenny's presence on the eastern half of the great carved bed is a code violation. Kenny's counter-argument is a left hook to the ear. Ah, the royal salute. Sir Kenworth likes to check his alignment before a major diplomatic summit. One leg to the heavens, ensuring the radar is clear and the treaty lines are clean. It ain't elegant, but you can't argue with the results. Now some folks see a yawn. I see a high volume intake test. Bingston's checking the seals on his main valve, ensuring he's got enough lung capacity to demand breakfast at 5 in the morning. It's loud, it's dramatic, and it's completely non-negotiable. Now cats are famous for their highly refined palates, but every morning Princess Penelope faces a true existential crisis at the breakfast table. She's hovering over the mug, trying to figure out why a sensible grown-up steward would willingly consume hot, bitter bean water. To a wild soul with a nose 10 times sharper than ours, coffee don't smell like a wake-up call. It smells like a biochemical hazard. She's looking at the steam rising from the dark abyss, then looking dead at me, wondering if this is the day the leader of the realm finally loses his mind. She don't want a sip, and she sure as heck ain't planning to approve the recipe. She's just holding her breath, performing a welfare check to ensure the man survives his morning ritual, because a dead steward can't open the tuna cans at noon. Every kingdom has its legends, and in Cattingham, the greatest legend of them all is the Red Dot. It's an invisible, weightless, high-speed insurgent that mocks the laws of physics. Look at him. Sir Kenworth is completely confused about which way to go. Sir Bingston, a cat of immense gravity and legal standing, is trying to pin it down like he's performing a citizen's arrest on a beam of light. They're tearing up the rug and jumping at shadows like a bunch of bumbling recruits in the dark. It's the ultimate psychological warfare. They know they can't catch it. They know it defies the laws of nature. But the urge to protect the kingdom from the glowing menace? That's hardwired. It's chaos in its purest, most ridiculous form. And honestly, it's the only time I've ever seen a cat forget how to be a cat. It's a delicate balance out here in Cattingham, keeping the old guard happy while keeping the new rescues safe. But looking at Pepper and her boys safe from the heat, the owls, and the hard attic floor, well, it's a pretty good day to be a steward. We can't open every door in the world, but we can sure as heck be a steward to our own neck of the woods. Dolly, Loretta, and Carl are living the high life in the kingdom of Duke, and Lady Pepper and her boys are finally safe and warm in our grand hall. If you want to help us support Lady Pepper's nursery and keep the carriage house ready for the next wanderer in need, check out our Amazon wish list in the video description. Until the next sunrise, keep the faith, keep the peace, and keep a seat by the fire for a friend in need. 9 lives, 1 kingdom, 0 naps interrupted.